walk of a man, sidewalk shining, city lights humming. Every step I take, they know a boss is coming.
Red sticks everywhere.
Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you. Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yay!
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
Deceive, hiding from the lawsuits, a new trick up your sleeve. Paperwork, flimsy truth, taking a dive. Drowning paperwork, then buried alive. Fraudulent dollar, playing the game. Dodging the heat while fueling the flame. Thinking you slick? Now we see through the scheme. Bankruptcy, fraud, that's stealing the dream. Stacks of life folded, origami finesse. You're bleeding broke, but your dollar screams success. Got the 56K, the attention, the barn go sweet. But in court you crying, I can't make ends meet. Heavy face for dukes, gavel about to drop. Your lies are crumbling, your case is a flop. Fake tears streaming, crocodile flow. But the fraud you pulling, everybody knows. Fraudulent dollar, playing the game. Dodging the heat while fueling the flame. Thinking you slick? Nah, we see through the scheme. Bankruptcy, fraud, that's stealing the dream. Money trail messy, footprints in the sand. Everybody watching, receipts in their hands. Lawyers on your neck, think you know what a scheme. But your team discussed it all on their live stream.
Now you're posting balloons about selling your jewelry? The jewelry you did great. Are you kidding me? 3 cellular providers now produced in Discovery. Are any of those brain cells on?
You lied to the court and left your donors misled, saying 6K was for fighting when you'd already fled. Winning the case, this is only delays. A courtroom race and you running relays.
Stop selling jewelry. Stop taking out loans. Seriously, stop.
What's up, folks? How is it going today? Welcome to Black Friday, actually, here. Depending on where you live in the world, today is our wonderful consumer holiday. Doesn't mean as much. I actually went out to the Wally World this morning, and every time I see it, I'm a little more disappointed. There were a few people here and there. I did buy some things that I did need for the house. Nothing crazy. I'm supposed to go to Murfreesboro tomorrow, though, but I bought things like pillows, $3 pillows, woo! But yeah, I miss the days of the crazy. What I did after I got in today, though, what I did is I went back and I was checking out everything that happened last night. And I'm going to go on the record and say that I am 99.9% sure, after the way that Fleesa comported herself last night, that she is the person that paid for the new lawyer, that paid off the rest of what was left. The way, see, these people don't understand something. I spent a long time watching people's mannerisms. That's really, in mental health, that's what you do. You observe people's mannerisms. You observe just details of what they do and what they don't, especially when they're trying to deflect. And these people, we have seen them for quite some time. And I am there with that idea. Now, I do have to say, along with that they are not alone in things. For example, as Max Lab has pointed out, let me point this up here. This wonderful find. You did see people attached to Yale BBB, You see the discussion about the $1,300. You should already have $1,300 of this from what Bruce raised, right? And that was a private discussion. So, could there be certain chunks here, certain chunks there? Maybe, I don't know. But yes, I'm very, very comfortable in saying that now. And again, they tried to play it off. There are certain ones, like I said, there are certain ones that you point to and you say, did they or didn't they do it? And the same thing that takes me, I'm not saying that people didn't give money. That's one thing. But I am saying with a lot of certainty, in my opinion. Again, they can disprove that if they would like. Not, oh, there were donors. But again, Marla, no. Marla did not give the whole amount. Marla may be gaming and trying to play quiet, but the same quiet that leashes her is the same quiet that tells you it wasn't her. Again, she'd be shouting it from the rooftops. There were certain statements that were made yesterday posting that I feel like they can't help but take a little credit for it. But then they got in the denial game. On top of that, we had some fun discussions. We had listening to Ray, who seems to forget he was trying to convince the world, very, very stupidly, by the way, that somehow in some way the court case is what gave up his email so Megan Fox could write him, not where he wrote Megan Fox and told her he would check out Revenge Porn, which I have that email redacted, by the way, so we can see where he said that, where that happened. And apparently, according to them, they define what harassment is and isn't. Over the last 3 days, I've become very aware that apparently telling a female that that's not revenge porn, you could have just dropped some marbles or something. That's not harassment, that video. But writing an email to them, that is harassment. And if you say, hey, well, think about this. If it were you or someone you love, like say it were your daughter or your wife or somebody, if they were in that, what would you consider that terrible? That's harassment too. So apparently, if you put them in that position, it is harassment. If someone they loved is in it, which we'll look at the transcript, that would be harassment and it would be revenge porn, but it's not when done to Megan Fox. Interesting, isn't it? As I said, there are many, many wonderful things afoot. And as I look at all of this, I can't help but think one thing.
Red sticks everywhere.
That's right. Breadsticks everywhere, baby. Oh, the indignant responses yesterday. Oh, it was so funny. I mean, Lord. But like I said, I'm going to show you just, I really have trouble recommending a live stream for many of these people, but if you watch their manner, again, you've seen them for years now. So when they've done something and they're caught red-handed, you can see it. You can see it. And they've definitely been caught. It's beautiful stuff. I thought about today too. I had thought about going over the rest of the fake calls with Ray, but I have not had time to sort them all and filter them all in appropriately. So I'm looking at potentially doing that. I will do that this weekend sometime for sure, because we've seen two. You should see the George one if you haven't. And I mean, if you didn't see the Jay one, or last night we went over one, Megan Fox went over the one for her. Oh, but they are something else. But like I said, we found out a lot. So I want to show you something first of all. I'm going to show you the hypocrisy of what they consider harassment and not. And then we're going to see it in their own words. Okay. So as far as harassment, and I posted this just so that you could see it, post it up. That way, if you need a copy of this for any records with Wise 2, I posted this on Facebook. That way it's there. It is redacted, but I do want you to notice a couple of things about this. First of all, this was from Volpe. Volpe sent this over to Megan Fox, and its subject was entitled Revenge Porn. You can actually see this, okay? You can see there, Revenge Porn. I cut that off there. You can see the addresses and stuff because he's the original one. He sends a video with that attached. Now, instead of decrying this or anything, he says he hasn't seen it before, apparently here. What's his answer to something that is entitled Revenge Porn? I mean, if you got something in your email that was talked about as that, would you be like, man, that's pretty gross? Or would you be like, curious? Apparently, Ray, the godliest among us, as he made sure to let us know for hours today, he is the godliest among us. It was funny, too. He was like, these people are harassing me on Thanksgiving. And it was like, wait a minute. Didn't you just put out weird freaking false interviews with all of us so you can take shots every day at people? But he's like, today and as we're going toward the holidays celebrating our Lord, how dare them? It's like, wow, very, very strange stuff indeed. But you can see there, what would his answer be? His answer would be, cool, I'll check it out. Now, his claims are that Megan Fox has somehow utilized Jeremy Hale's and litigation to get his email address. It was all a conspiracy. But as you'll notice, the dumbass that he is actually mailed her directly. You'll see, you see from Ray Bone Crusher. This is redacted, but this is his email address. And you'll notice the recipients here. You have, Volment, of course, was the sender. But look at everybody he tagged in because he wanted to harass them. Why? It's Megan Fox. That's right. So, weird. That's where it came from. So last night we had a little bit, like I said, it was part of the indignant fit throwing where they were trying to claim that that this email, check this out. This is harassment. This is harassing old Ray Bone Crusher. Look at this. Here's Megan writing. Again, now you can see where that came from. Now, again, he says that would not be harassment. The video, all of that, harassing the subject of it too. That's not harassment. But writing him and saying the following: "Dear Mr. Bone Crusher, I'm happy to inform you that you've won a very important award. Due to your content of having fake conversations on the phone with different imaginary people, you've been awarded the Dummy Award. Congrats. Only Mickey Volman has won it once before. You're in a elite group of winners. Keep up the good work. I've attached a badge for you to display on your social media if you so choose. All the best to Megan Fox." So again, this apparently is not only that, but elder abuse. Now that's really telling, considering the people that are lined up on that channel. One of them includes someone convicted of crimes against the elderly, which they deny, by the way, which is very interesting considering, amongst other things that have come up in the last few days, there was a wonderful letter written by Lisa Lee talking about the proof of this stuff. Yeah, that's right. The proof of it, saying that, and wonderfully too, threatening the prosecutor involved. So you not only have had, oh my God, it looks like there has been a violation of somebody's booger sugar times. Oopsie daisy. But on top of the booger sugar time, which it begs the question, if you have money like that, I would be like, if I were Lynette Preston, I'd be like, wait a minute, I'm missing money. People are using the old booger sugar, allegedly. Maybe, just maybe, there's something weird. But along with all of that stuff, we got a letter. Would you like to read a letter with me today to the prosecutor? Would you like to read how they're totally not felons, but somehow, oh my God. They're totally not a felon. He's not. But at the same time, he has been convicted and he pled guilty. He pled guilty to theft. So he pled guilty, but he's not a felon. It just looks like a felony. That's interesting. And again, letter written by Lisa Lee. This is the second part. Again, I'm not going through the whole letter today. I'm just going through a little piece of it. This is, of course, court documentation. That's right. Fun times. Fun times, baby. Fun times. She says, my husband, this is her own words. My husband accepted a plea out of fear of further prosecution, not because he was guilty of theft. So he accepted a plea of guilty, but not because he was guilty. No. In further prosecution, the financial and logistical burden of monthly court appearances were overwhelming, and he simply could not afford to continue fighting the charge. As a result, he now faces the ongoing consequences of a criminal record. So you know he has a criminal record. You wrote this letter, but you keep lying about this shit. Now you understand why people might just wonder where the fuck their money went. Huh? You can see why they might be concerned about this. You've been lying blatantly, telling people this is not a criminal record. He doesn't have one. You stated it to the prosecution. Holy God. Oh my God. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Crazy stuff, right? He now faces the ongoing consequences of a criminal record and probation over what should have remained a civil disagreement. Oh, should have, but let's retry it again. You could have. Again, they're like, no. Couldn't afford it. Well, you've had a lot of money. I guess you could have fought it with, all that alleged booger sugar money, but what do I know? What do I know? This has been plastered all over the internet, leading to public scrutiny. Huh? You've been public scrutiny over something that you deny being real? Like I said, that's interesting. These aren't rumors. There's a lot of record. There's more. There's much more that has come up too. And of course, like I said, a few days ago, right before the payoff of that giant PayPal, there was let's say a mugshot. That's the best way. There was a mugshot that started making the rounds, and it was a very legit one. It was one that you could look up and you could actually find. I made sure that it was legit. I decided that I would go in. I decided that I would look up the site that was listed. I would find the exact same thing because I knew that we would be told it was fake. Totally. Now, remember, they're the victims, though. But the reason I'm bringing this up, too, is because they're saying that Megan Fox writing a letter is elder abuse. She should be reported. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. People, it seems like, well, maybe there's a little bit of knowledge about that subject within this group of people. But it has led to public scrutiny, threats against our family at home and on social media. Threats? Are you fucking kidding me? You mean, are you talking about people wanting to know what happened to their money? Is that a threat? By the way, I'm just curious. Do you consider that a threat? Hey, what exactly happened to our money? Where did all that go? Like I said, there's a lot more money too. When you start thinking about, like I was pontificating last night, and I was wondering, there was a P.O. box. We know about the P.O. box because the P.O. box had been mentioned multiple times, but the P.O. box, it had made appearances on things like the PR website. You remember the PR website? Yeah, it had the P.O. box plastered there. And you have to wonder, like, who exactly had control of all of these things? You know, were there things that were directly mailed to the P.O. box that had gift cards, that had money, checks, and more? You know, because they brought that subject up a lot. So it does make me wonder, you know, I always do wonder about that. And of course, there's Christmas. Not to mention lawyers and other things. Where did those go? Were there, first of all? Who had access to it? Namely, also, who didn't? I would be curious about that. And, you know, where did it go? I mean, again, you have all this. There's a lot of money. And it's funny because, like I said, you have these few hundred people that show up, and a majority of them, I'm going to say, even Ray, in talking about the subject, was like, you know what? I think it's 90 to 10. You know, the people out there that they're against us 90%. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. But he's on the path to God. I was like, that's a really bizarre statement. You notice a lot of people use religion as a bludgeon for bad deeds. You know, I'm not saying people can't talk about religion or talk about their beliefs. Spirituality, you know, that's a core concept in many people's lives. But many people, when they are doing terrible things, they rationalize it, as we've seen throughout the ages, under God. And it's really interesting how many felons that we have associated with these people, and they're still like, but God's on our side. Huh. It's weird, you know. But threats, they said, and significant negative impact on his worth and health. This has also affected my life, work, and health. We are desperate to have this corrected once and for all. Then, this is some fun times. Now, I really enjoyed this part. Now, when you're asking somebody, hey, will you do me a solid? You know what you should always put into it, apparently, according to ecosystem logic? Threats. That's right, threats. So, along with that, we got, after consulting legal counsel, I can only imagine who that might be. Legal counsel, indeed. Which wormy mofo did you talk to that said, you know what would be a good idea? Maybe you should threaten the prosecution. You know, it's really funny. These same people, groups of felons and the like, two of them right now are like, they're all rooting on Dan Owen. They're like, Dan Owen, rah, rah, rah. And it's like, you know that they are not pro anything. They are anti-Hales when it comes to that. You know, that alone tells you, yeah, I mean, straight up, they are just anti-Hale. They are not pro freaking prosecution. But after checking with legal counsel, I was advised that your handling of this case may have violated the Florida rules of professional conduct, specifically Rule 4-3.8. Oh my God, you have to now tell me, are you not impressed with this? Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm amazed by this. Well, let's look at this all up. Oh my God. I get amused sometimes and I can't help myself. So let's see. Rule 4. Let's see, chapter 4. God, there's a lot of this. Oh my God. This is the answer though. The answer when you go through and you look at rules, chapter and verse. Like I said, what you really should do is you should go and you should call out the people that are prosecuting you. Always talk smack to them. So specifically, that rule requires the prosecutor to quote unquote refrain from prosecuting a charge that the prosecutor knows is not supportable by probable cause. There's no probable cause for theft where the underlying facts are a consumer complaint about services rendered. No, I believe we are not talking about services rendered. We are talking about fraud. There's a big difference. Maybe that's why they're playing the game. Oh my God. I have just had an epiphany, ladies and gentlemen. I have just had an epiphany. Maybe the reason that they're breaking down quote unquote projects is because they think that when they address this with law enforcement, they will call this a consumer complaint about services rendered. Maybe that is going to be their underlying excuse they think they'll use. And if that is the reason that they're trying to approach it this way, which lawyer put that in their heads? Because I would say that the person that put that in their heads, again, when I say lawyer, I'm not talking about a specific one. I'm saying they're all clowns. But which one would have put that in there? Because the reason I ask is because how could you call that specific lawyer a friend when they're helping out people that are trying to take away your moolah? You know what I mean? That's really, this stuff gets more and more interesting. So further, my attorney indeed. You know, again, how do you know it's one of the clownsel out there? I do like that. Bruce did coin that, and I do like calling them clownsel. It does sound good. So props to Bruce. Out of all the dumb things he's ever written, clownsel actually works out. Man, maybe you should go out and try to push that some more, because polyflop sucks. You know, it is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But clownsel works. You know, it does. So props on that, Bruce. You know. I mean, oh, Lord, you would think when you come up with a good one, maybe there. But no. Anyway, my attorney points out that Rule 4-3.4G, which prohibits a lawyer from, quote, presenting or threatening to present criminal charges solely to attain an advantage in a civil matter. It appears criminal prosecution was used as leverage to force my husband to pay money he legitimately disputes owing. Huh. Then they threaten them as everything. Guess how they threaten? How are they going to handle this? If you don't handle this, I'm going to write the Florida bar. Well, guess what? I bet that results in two things. What is it called? Jack sheet. That's right. You know that one. Two little words that all those complaints. They're telling a prosecutor. They're telling them that until you drop these charges, I'm going to write the bar and I'm going to have really, really, really bad things to say about you. Holy God. I love the fact that they admit criminal record. It's admitted by her. You didn't ever think that would come up. Again, these are just rumors. They kept saying, these are rumors. You don't understand. You don't know. Like I said, I would think that donor-wise, the donors have legitimate complaints. On top of this, I believe that all of these records put together and sent over to Levy County might actually change their mind just a tad, just a smidgen when it comes to the person that sat down with them and was saying, actually, we've done all this stuff, but yeah, I think that might have a little bit of a different effect. Again, it makes me wonder if Lynette pulled out the "if you don't help us, we're gonna drop the hammer on you" card. It does make me wonder, like I said. But the way they acted last night, woo, baby, we'll get to that in a bit. So, given all of this, I believe it is your duty to correct the mistakes that have been done to my husband's name and reputation. Unless these charges are dropped and any resulting conviction nullified, I intend to file a complaint with the Florida bar. I am also prepared to retain counsel to pursue all available remedies to have this case dismissed, the charges vacated, and my husband released from probation. This matter has caused tremendous distress for our family. I urge you to reconsider and dismiss the case so we can all move forward. Again, I think this stuff, if Lynette Preston hasn't woken the fuck up and realized the type of people that she has been dealing with for some time, I don't know what to tell her. I would think after they picked your pockets, even if they gave you money, which again, I think they did. I don't know how you cost that. I don't know if certain people, wanted them to, but like I said, the way they acted last night, I very much think it was them. It's just that, again, we talked about smarminess, that douchebagginess, that fake outrage, all of this stuff. When it comes together, some of these things are there all the time, but there's a pattern of behavior that emerges when these people get cornered in something bad. The way that they act, if you go back and you watch, you'll see what I mean. You'll find it. And it was definitely on display yesterday. Definitely on display. So again, now, of course, like I said, they would go into denial mode about it, but we'll get there. We'll get to all the fun. All the fun. I love it. I love it, by the way. So let's see. Now, what do we want to go to? Let's see. Let's go to Morning Chat with Ray. Because Ray, with the email address, I want to show you his thoughts and with how the email address actually ended up in that old evil Megan Fox's possession. What a monster, that Megan Fox, I swear. Dude writes some crazy half-baked freaking emails, and they're out there screaming elder harassment. And like I said, I thought that was really interesting, considering, she should be brought up on charges. Writing an email, which I think is funny too, considering the dozens and dozens of emails that have been sent to Megan Fox through many of the ecosystem. And some of those emails, holy God, man, some of the emails that some of these people send, but you give one dummy award, just one little dummy award. Shouldn't he be the one to express this stuff, not her? Yeah. There's actually there's more. I mean, there's more stuff. In fact, we will probably, I'm sure, I will tease this today because this is actually one of Megan's favorite topics. So I'm sure that Monday there will be a very interesting deep dive into stuff. I'm sure that will be hers. Like I said, I just wanted to show you them admitting that this stuff, it's talking out of both sides of your mouth. We're not talking about rumors. If I want to get into rumors and stuff, I can tell you all kinds of crazy shit about these people, but people just make up crazy shit. So, again, I stick it to I stick to some of the weird articles. I've never presented the articles, by the way, because I think they're too sensitive about some of these folks. There's a certain one that, because it involves their family and stuff. I try to avoid some of those things. I have for years. They don't think that is a two-way street, though. But I avoid a lot of oh God, there's some weird stuff out there, guys. There's some really weird stuff out there, and there's some interesting things. I would say, for example, that pieces of garbage that bring up people's families and things they've been led into, maybe they shouldn't talk. Maybe they shouldn't. They know what I'm talking about, and I'll leave it at that. But anyway, I digress. Let's see what Ray had to say. So when Ray was talking, he was talking about Dave and all this other stuff, the blah, blah, blahs. And he was like, before I was served paperwork, that was when they were able to get my email address. It went out before I had the paperwork. And the first one that was to send me an email was the same person that sent me the Dummy Award. Actually, Megan Fox didn't send you an email, you dope. That was Michael Volpe when you were checking out the thing they call Revenge Prawn. Also, other ones. Again, June 11th. When, if he's talking about his email address, remember when Bruce wrote to the Florida bar? Remember that long chain where he decided to threaten Shara and, well, much more. But you remember that. It happened in June. That contained Ray's email. You also have Paint Chips. Every time he sends out a damn email, he puts every one of their emails on it. And on and on and on. So they think people have to look for their emails, but no, they're actually included in every harassing ass thing that these weirdos do. They include, that's what I've been saying for the longest time. But Ray thinks, and he's trying to sell the narrative to people that blame Jeremy Hales. They're blaming Jeremy Hales for Volpe, Bruce, Paint Chips, etc., etc., etc. It is the meme. Again, that meme is very valid. I love that meme, by the way. Blame Jeremy. Yeah, Tug and the Tuglets. Hope it's been a good day. It has. Somebody, by the way, I do want to note this. I appreciate them writing. I was talking about a device. I've been looking for a device where on the go, I can mark documents like these, where I can sit down and I can really have time to go through, make handwritten notes, like while I'm riding, when I'm riding in the car or anything, on a tablet doesn't work, but like on a regular tablet laptop. But they have these devices now that actually work for that. Now I mentioned yesterday a scribe. It's a tool from Amazon, but somebody wrote me and noted something that I have been looking into all day long, and I thought this was pretty helpful. They said the scribe is really an e-reader where you can import Word documents. So you could, bring in like the PDF file, the Word document, the actual file, not the code word, let's just say. But you can bring in all those files and you can read and mark on them, which is fine. But if you really want to be able to control something like that and make it work, there's a device called, well, there's a couple of them, but the one they were talking about was the BOOX, the books. So I've been looking at those today. So I have not looked at anything, but I think I'm like, man, one of those, God, that would be I'd be able to up my game and keep up with all the transcripts, all the freaking court documents. I'd be able to put my terrible writing on them and import them over easily. God, that might be nice. Those things look good. So thank you for the person who wrote that. I have been looking into that all day, and I have a couple of days to sign on it. I think the books looks much better, actually. Yeah, actually, Megan. So the iPad is. You should look up a BOOX and look at its functionality. Just see what it does because of what it's designed specifically to do. As a reader, but also, I mean, you could use it as a reader. You can import things, but just as a document, just as a thing where you can run them. Because I've used plenty of tablets with specific features on them, but this thing, like I said, it looks kind of amazing when you look through it. In fact, they ever make a phone out of one, which maybe they will in the future. Holy man, that is going to be the most amazing device ever. But anyway, I digress. So let's look at this. Now, Megan Fox is blamed here again for the email, which I love. This guy is so nuts. I can only figure that they had a little bit of inside information that I didn't have during this lawsuit operation. And I kind of see that information out there from time to time when before it hits here, someone else has it. You talking about court filings? I think we all end up with court filings. Now, I do, if I hear something crazy about an email sent by the ecosystem, many times I get included on them. If I don't, and I hear about it, I will ask for a copy of it because those emails from the ecosystem are batshit crazy. So if you call that inside information, well, guess what, Ray? You're included on all those. So I don't think that's inside information. But to say again that Megan has inside information because she has his email address, which again is what he's trying to claim. Again, they've been selling this. They sold this twice. They sold it last night and today. I'm going to show you some more on that. But again, remember, like I said, receipt wise, very easy to see. There are many of these. They go back a long time, by the way. But this one's from May. Remember, Megan just now sent the man an email to laugh. And again, like I said here, so harassment defined by anti-Hale. To understand it, telling a victim, you'll check out the revenge prawn of them, which again, that's what this is. Cool. I'll check it out. You can see that's what's been sent here because it is again titled revenge prawn. Telling them that Ray says, no, that is not harassment. In fact, he decided to say, oh yeah, that could have been anything. You could have continually been dropping marbles or something. Again, a supposed man of faith hanging out with felons, talking about that to women. Well, I think that says plenty. But the award that is mailed out, a dummy award, victim mailing that. So the victim of this mess mailing that same person a dummy award because of many things they've done, including this and their newest conversations, the pretend ones to Megan where he didn't even have the balls to talk to her, just decides to, to insult on his own. Yeah, of course, that's harassment. Moreover, if said victim, they ask a question. They say, I wonder if we took that same tape, that same thing that you're talking about here, but it included the person that is saying, cool, I'll check it out, or their family. In this case, they talk about, again, he latches onto, they brought up my daughter. Oh, they said they'd do that. Huh. So that's weird. I thought it was all just humor and satire, a joke. But apparently it's not. Apparently it's harassment and revenge porn if it were to include specific people like himself. He didn't like that idea. He didn't like it including loved ones. They should be left out. Loved ones, as he says in this one, should be left out. But that doesn't include Megan Fox. Megan Fox? Nope. Also, when he's pretend talking to me and talking about my kids yet again, they don't count either. Juveniles don't count. Why? Well, I don't know. But there's a little bit of creepy candy van action that, well, I'm not saying you're anything, but I'm saying that's creepy. Stop talking about kids that aren't yours, man. Gross. By the way, again, as I noted, your email does not come from court documents, Ray. It comes from you mailing Megan Fox directly. You mailed her. On top of that, as you'll see, the reason she got CC'd in there, and you're too dumb to check this if you didn't mean to, which I think you did mean to. I think you're as much of a harasser as any of these people. You just pretend that you have God on your side, which many of you do. But I think you're just as bad as all of them. You know, I do. I think you got that. I think you got that bell tower look too. You know, yeah, you can take that how you want, buddy. But I do. I think you got that real creepy bell tower look. You talk about other people and how they appear. So I think, there's a lot to say about people like Hales. Again, man of faith. Man of faith. Then he says, look, I don't know if there's inside information coming from a clerk with them on the office or just what's going on. So he accuses the court of leaking his address. This is how crazy this idea is. He thinks that Megan Fox, she has a court clerk leaking her his email address. Oh my God. These are the dumbest people alive. Oh my God. This is the guy giving thousands of people potentially his ideas on a case. I mean, you think about some of the things he says. Again, as we noted, oh, Hercules heel. Oh my God. Oh my God. But he's like, I can only contemplate it because I don't have action of it. The things that went on, they actually threatened my daughter, I guess. Someone warned me about it, that they want to go after my daughter. And I don't know why. I guess it's because my daughter has backed me up so hard. Who the fuck is your daughter, dude? Nobody knows who your daughter is. The point is, and again, you admit, this is admission that you would see this as a problem. If someone like your daughter popped up in a video like that one that you said was totally okay, you'd have a problem with it. You call it harassment. You call it revenge porn. And you do call it harassment. Even the idea, they say, hey, if that were to happen to someone you love, you're like, oh my God, no. Well, you think you are part of doing this to another human being. And he cannot accept it because it would deflate that ego, that pomp that surrounds him in being all knowing about God. Again, can you be wrong? No, can't be wrong, right? It's good times. The good that she's done, they're going to try to destroy her. They're going to, and of course, he wants people, their hearts to be healed for that. So again, I love it because he's commenting on himself through this stuff. He's talking about this. Then he goes on to talk about the idea of people doxing him. Now, this amazes me because this guy, like I said, the way that people found his name and the way that people found out who he was because he was on a video with vomit and paint chips. They were contacting the ADL. I want you to drink that in. They were sitting around contacting the ADL. He was laughing about ruining someone's life there. He was doing it under his own name. And it was okay when he thought there was no consequence to it. In fact, he laughed many times about how people would never find out who he was, forgetting that he had done multiple interviews under his own name. Now, when his name came up, the way that people found him is they looked up his name and they found, I'm just going to say, documents that associated with that. Now, anybody that I know, again, I do not condone doxing. I don't know anybody that does condone doxing, but the documents that were brought up, there were things, well, I'm not even going to say what they were, but the certain ones did not reference that were being posted around. They didn't reference home. In fact, the things about him, though, they were right out there with his home like anybody. And they have taken zeal in putting out, because of Megan Fox, they put out her husband. They put out her home. They put out pictures again when they wanted to go after Randy Shockett and the people around him. They put together an article, pretended. I tell you, this is how crazy this was, by the way. And it's still out there. But they put together an article pretending that an account online that they knew was not this person, by the way. They pretended an account was associated with Randy Shockett, somebody around him. So they, quote unquote, wrote an article. I hate to call it an article because all it was really is a doxing format. And they put pictures of not just him, but people around him, kids and more. They're all okay with that. Those are his pals, the people that he sits around with that send him revenge porn, that he's very proud of and he defends to this day. He defends the actions of these people to this day. They're the main conspirators. Like I said, I can't control every random asshole on Facebook or every random asshole on YouTube. If I could, wow, that would be amazing, right? But I control myself. And if people that I knew directly, if they were involved in something, I'd hit them up and be like, yo, no addresses, no kid, nothing like that. And, they understand that. Now, Ray, funny enough, he's going to talk about with this also keeping kids out. And at the same time, he's going to excuse blaming or bringing Jeremy Hale's kid into it. That's right. He's going to excuse that behavior. I mean, this is a disgusting person. And he's crying harassment through I'm saving you 3 hours of live stream time, by the way. But he's like, they didn't just dox me. They gave a map out so people could come down and harass me. And there was a dead edge street. And well, yesterday he was saying it led, it led to post up. Now, the thing was, there wasn't a map posting about the post office. What it was is Hale actually wrote to the court and said that she was doing documents for Ray because he couldn't go to a post office. And that was countered by people saying, no. He lives at X place and there is a post office close to his home. In fact, he has to pass it every time he was, if he was dealing with a hospital or anything else. It was countering a thing that they put out because what you're not supposed to do ever is counter one of their narratives. If you counter their narratives, God forbid they are the victim, always. But look, he's, for somehow in that weird look, he's blaming it on Larry Foreman. That's right. He's somehow in his mind, he's blaming Larry Foreman for something that happened in a federal case. Well, Fed case involving Lisa, involving himself, but he's saying that Bruce is somehow going to investigate it in the Foreman case. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. It's so crazy. I have to admit, Ray, I do. I cannot stand 2L when but you say some of the dumbest shit that yes, I will put you on 2-speed and I will listen to some of your stuff. Now, some of your videos are very hard to get through. Very hard. But some of them that are crazy like this, when you get to the crazy, stupid parts, no, they amaze me. I'm like, oh my God, that is actual gold. That's why if I will give Jay a shout out in this too. If you really want some fun breakdowns, he gets into some fun ones quite a bit. As he said, he is a fan of these people. And don't take that as a negative statement either. You know, don't think, oh my God, they're so dumb. Like when you listen to some of the stuff they say, I mean, it can be some of the most entertaining, stupid. If I could listen to more, God, I'd probably tune into that stupid too. But as I tune into these, but with Ray, I actually have to sometimes do both with Ray because I tell you, I think he is like he's like the physical representation of what AI translation thinks that 2L is. And this is what I mean by that. 2L is such a slush mouth. It's like blah, blah, and chewing chicken skin and freaking coughing and doing all this nasty stuff all the time that when it was translating the other day, as I noted, it thought she was speaking Chinese. It really did. It tried to translate some of her portions in because there was so much of, yeah, just another. You know, I mean, that really was what the portion sounded like. This is the grossest thing. She was really eating, making those kinds of sounds while talking. And the translator was like, that's got to be Chinese. But that confusion that the AI has when it's trying to figure out what the hell's going on, that Ray is like the physical embodiment of it. Sometimes when I read what he's saying, I think maybe it would be easier to understand if I translated it to Chinese. Maybe it would make more sense. Because how does this make sense, you know? Yeah, I just can't wait till discovery comes in the Manskin Foreman case. So many more people will be getting sucked into nonsense. I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that Manskin can follow through on the case. Get to the bottom of what exactly do you think is going to come up in that? What in God's name do you think? Do you think people are going to go into that and he's going to get to wreck and own people? Oh, no. Oh no, baby. No. That's not how that's going to happen. In fact, people will actually get to prep and to talk about all kinds of wonderful, blunderful things. And the funny thing too is that what do you think Foreman, what do you think you're gonna find it there? That he's had an invite to a stream? Oh wow. You know. I don't think that's going to work out very well for you. But then there's more. Let's see. Let me roll through. Let me see. Oh, we also said this was beautiful too. I thought just to tell you the othering statements that come up from these people, especially from Ray, to tell you how gross this stuff is. You know, he's called people the Antichrist. He said that, like, we are the embodiment, we are the Antichrist. He said that. And again, that what that does is it others. It makes crazy zealots like himself say it's okay to do harm to people. Because what can you do to the Antichrist? You know? Which is gross. But he was talking about Jeremy Hales. And he said, you know, Cain was marked. And I got an idea that this man is too. He bears the mark of Cain. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you daft? You realize how many felons you run with, dude? I mean, holy crap, man. Like the insanity to that. But really, this kind of stuff is very dangerous. Because like I said, this speaks to people and it allows them, not like for me, I mock stupid people. You know, I do. I absolutely mock. I don't tell you that they are the embodiment of the devil, you know, or any craziness like that. I tell you they're scumbags and pieces of garbage. You know, I also tell you not to make contact with them. These people, they tell you that you're every terrible thing in the world, that it's essentially saying the world would be okay without us. And yeah, because I mean, you think about it. When he said we are the Sodom and Gomorrah of YouTube, well, what happened to that? Well, God smote them and they were destroyed. In fact, their loved ones, even the good ones, their loved ones, one of the good ones, their loved ones were destroyed too. Huh? Isn't that a weird statement too? But I mean, again, he keeps going on about his daughter. I wonder how many times he brought up my daughter. You know, he said, by the way, and we need to FOIA this too, because he says that he was in contact with law enforcement in his area. So let me, by the way, let me make a note of this. Okay. By the way, let's see. He was in, just give me a second, with the Popo. His area need a FOIA. All right. I'm making a note of that, you know, because he notes that. But he said he's contemplating bringing up a federal case in Iowa. All right, man. That'll be real fun. It'll be real fun. Like I said, you know, I would feel real weird about taking everything that this man has in a federal case. But him, like, remember how Lips talked about how there was this giant conspiracy? You remember that? So what he's going to do is he's going to allege that a judge is leaking, I'm sorry, a judicial staff is leaking things to people like Megan Fox, and that they got his email from that and mailed him a dummy award after he was bringing her up live. And on top of that, checked out a file on her entitled Revenge Prawn. Yeah, that'll be a great lawsuit there. So that'll be lots of fun. But yeah, he's like, oh man, you know, I'm gonna bring a federal lawsuit. Oh man, I'm telling you, the stuff, it'll never stop. Check this out. I want to show you. By the way, he does say that. I need to pull this up on the screen for you so you can see it. He says, look here, because he's talking about it. The part about I'm going after my daughter, I don't have that either, and I don't know what she'll say or do about that. But I was in contact with some law enforcement in my area. Again, we will FOIA that. And if you're in contact stating something inappropriate, that'll be fun. Like I said, it'll be real fun to correct the fact that your felonious associates actually, you know, your associate that you realize that they got in trouble for blackmail and fraud, right? So you're involved with several fraudsters, with people that also, they try to blackmail people. And they did other things like create false accounts online. They tried to, you know, disparage and ruin folks. Not to mention the accusations that came from the prosecutors. But those don't matter. Like hacking, threatening to hack a wife up into many pieces, according to a prosecutor, that doesn't matter. That's okay for Mr. Godly there, right? Yeah, that'll be a fun. But he's like, it has to do with starting another federal case. Starting another federal case. Yeah. They also, I love the conspiracy about the fact that Megan Fox was apparently, I'm not sure what Megan Fox supposedly was doing at the time, but according to Ray, Jeremy had seen or had heard what Megan Fox was doing, and he was coming in to join in harassment. It's just the craziest stuff. Now, there's more. Let me see. There's a couple other things I want to bring up in this, too. He keeps talking about, so apparently some rando out there, according to him, said that somebody was going to check and see if his RV was still in his driveway. And that's terrible in the fact that it's promoted by everyone out here. It's like, well, that's weird. You remember how people said that they wanted to, I'm going to say Charlie Kirk Miyagi? Certain people that you live stream with, buddy. That was interesting, right? But I didn't see you denouncing all of those things. Again, people like this, they want a denouncement for every single thing. And here's the issue. Like I said, I can control certain behavior, like myself. If I see some of my friends that do something, I would talk to them. I would talk to them privately is what I would do. But I would talk to them about behavior if I saw something. I can also say, hey, I don't encourage this and you shouldn't do it. But at the end of the day, I can control every random jackass. These people, they live stream with the folks that make these kind of statements. These are their pals. And they don't just tacitly sit by and say nothing or say, They encourage it. They check it out, as their emails say. But hey, again, different rules, right? Different rules. Let's see. Where's the other stuff there too? They also, they think, by the way, they think that the Walmart video, I've seen this come up several times talking about Hales and the Walmart video. They think the Walmart video will get a case dropped. They do understand, right, that that a person with a protective order, this is their statement, by the way. They think that if somebody has a protective order, they film someone and they're like, 10 feet, that doesn't show enough fear. You're not scared enough. You're not intimidated enough. You need to lay in the corner and piss yourself, because if you don't do that, then you're not afraid enough. Again, judging the victim and thinking the victim is not allowed to have what the protective order states. These people defend the worst stuff ever. And they try to bring it. I mean, it's the weirdest stuff, I love the harassment. Like I said, I've been putting things together, laughing about. Again, age becomes the excuse, by the way. Age. They talk about Hales, though. They talk about protective orders. It's funny because they bring up, again, the temporary protection order. And they think the temporary protection order mattered and should be enforced. But the protection order that Hales has, that is a actual protective order, not one you put on people while you figure out what's going on in a case, that doesn't matter. It's so crazy. They also, and this is my favorite part, I'm going to bring this up because I thought this was disgusting in its way. This is how they rationalize Jeremy and bringing up family. They know, Milltown always stating, family should be off limits. And he goes on, family should be. But you know what? As far as Jeremy Hale's son, that's okay. That's okay. That's all good. And going after other that's all fine. But you can't do that for other folks. It's so strange talking about little girls are coming up again. We worry about other little girls. That's creepy, dude. I mean, some of this stuff is so weird, man. Ugh. Anyway, though, they come up, though, and he talks over and over again about, he spends quite a bit of time trying, in my opinion, to gaslight Jeremy Hales. attacking him while at the same time talking about how he's the victim. Like I said, his big rant about that, it ends with they want to bankrupt. By the way, I'm not suing you, idiot. I'm not suing you at all. The they? Who is they? Like, who in your mind is this conspiratorial they? Because you keep bringing up Megan. Like Megan, myself, we laugh at stupid people, and you guys are the stupidest people I've ever seen. So you're fun to laugh at. But bankrupting you, I don't think me laughing at you is bankrupting you. Now, if you've done something to other people, like, I don't know, bringing in their kid and spending quite a bit of time trying to rationalize how that's okay. Well, maybe while interfering with businesses and saying people should stalk them with signs and write things, not like the signs in the ground, by the way. They need to be able to erase them. So there's no proof that that's what you said. Well, that's different. But again, one of the more interesting, he keeps rambling about holiday dinners throughout that too. It is one of the most there's most strange things to listen to. And I had a lot of trouble getting through certain portions of it. But there's probably more gold buried in those hills. Now there's another one. Now getting to the 2L portion, which is fun. Now they rented a lot. And I do mean a lot about Megan Fox. Holy God. I mean, they rented about her forever. And it was kind of amazing considering, again, the narratives they all promote. Remembering, like I said, I showed you the emails there. I showed you how these people, they write folks like Hales. Hales gets emails all the time. He's shown you some of them, but they are just a drop in the bucket. And there is another player that's been brought in. Like you saw the letter where Bruce's own attorney went in and said, Bruce is not part of this. He denounces it. Now, of course, the people he brought in, like Volpe, Paint Chips, the people he helped fundraise for and more, the people in every article, he's written emails as part of, they've popped up in court record as part of it. He's told them what exactly they need to be asking and doing. You can see him directing. They're well, that's okay. But the people they bring in with them, like the other person, they write such crazy shit that they wanted to deny and denounce it. Because again, my opinion is they sent it, when they were threatening all this crazy shit to Jeremy Hales, they were sending it to the judge, and they were sending it over to not just the judge, but to Hinkle too. So both of the judges that are on the Fed case, they were mailing that. So I think they wanted to get a denial on record. They were afraid that not only would they maybe end up in court, but he might have seen that when it was going back and forth. But they're bringing up Megan Fox writing, which is, like I said, it's wild. Because Megan laughs at a stupid person. 1 second. 1 minute. I have to get, I ask somebody to bring me some baking soda and vinegar, the little one. So each room in this house is there's strange things about each room. And the room that, with her room, it has a sink in it. And you can't cut the water off in it, because if you cut the water off in it, it cuts water off in other places in the house. So it's the design is so crazy. But anyway, she decided she was going to clean, which good for her. But she dumped something down that sink, and it stopped up like a mug. So I'm going to see if some of that will dissolve and it'll just clear before having to result to something more, I'm going to say, worse. But anyway, I digress. I was like, when I went up there, I was like, what have you done? And it's so funny when she gets in trouble for that. Oh man. So this sucks. She loves that K-pop Demon Hunter show, right? So get her a shirt that, it's like $25. It's the only one I could find. $25 freaking dollars. K-pop Demon Hunter, right? So she's playing. She loves it. It's larger. It's an extra small, but she's such a little kid that, I mean, she's tiny. She's little, you know. So when she grows, she'll have this shirt. She's putting on weight good and everything. She's just small frame. So She's running and playing around, gets the thing caught, she said, on a banister, and it rips 2 holes in her brand new. She's like, no. I was like, not you, brand new. It took me forever to find that shirt. Oh my goodness. That between that and check this out. I'm gonna read this to you in just a second. But she was like, let's put some decor in the snakes tank. I was like, all right, that'd be cool. So we have, I'm sure you've seen them before. You know, they go in fish tanks. They're like giant trees. You know, it's got like a face on a tree. You know, they put them in the middle of a fish tank. They look really cool, right? They have and I was like, cool, you can put something in there. And, you know, everything was secure. So no problem. I wasn't thinking about it. You know, it'll go in a fish tank. Well, what I wasn't thinking about was the fact that it's hollow. And snake will get in anything. So I go in, I can't find it. I'm like, where the heck did that go? So I was listening, and it was down in that thing. I was like, oh my God. Now, I did get it out of there finally by offering it. You know, they love food. They can smell it so well, too. So I took its food 2 days early, put it out there, and got it to come out. But it was funny. She put that in there, and I mean, I thought, oh my God, that thing's gotten loose somehow. You know, we've got tank clamps on it and everything. No way it can get out. That's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh no. Between that and remember, she was like, no. So tomorrow, I think we're gonna have to go do something, you know, to take your mind off of it. Because you ever have those days where you feel like life's conspiring against you and you have to reset? I think she was having that kind of day. So I'm gonna reset her. Sorry, by the way, if you hear my knife popping, I am cleaning it. It's got a problem in it, and I keep messing with it. And I know it makes a clicking noise. I apologize for that, but I'm absentmindedly messing with it. I'm trying to get it's a punch blade. I carry it with me. You know, you can hear the blade pop up and down, but there's a problem with it. It's got something. So I've been working on it. I've been taking it apart, putting it back together while we talk. So apologies for the sound. I don't think about it when I flip it. But anyway, so this is what 2L and the gang have to say with Megan Fox. So Megan Fox, okay, decides at 9 p.m. to send an email to Ray Bone Crusher. Oh my God. Oh my God. And it says, Dear Mr. Bone Crusher, I'm happy to inform you that you've won a very important award. Now, oh, by the way, I forgot to put this in. Ray thinks, by the way, that the award that he was giving, he thinks that's a real award. He does. He thinks it's something real, by the way. When you read through his transcript of it, he doesn't think it's like a gag joke award. He thinks it's something real. Like the way it's talking about. I mean, it's the funniest stuff. Oh, Ray should not be commenting on cases and things. He should. That man needs to get out of this stuff, and he needs to see if there's a way to finalize and to fix this mess, because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's out here using AI at the request of the ecosystem, telling them that it's going to work in lieu of a lawyer. I mean, it's so dumb, but he thinks this is amazing. So it goes through, talks about again, you've been awarded the Dummy Award, all the best. And it's stupid. She chose to verbally abuse an elderly man. Verbally abuse an elderly man, harassing him the night before a holiday of which he'll be spending first time without his wife. This is the way they spin it. Now, how did that award get handed off? Not only is it because of stupid things that this man has done, by the way, like that, but he decided to do fake interviews. In fact, Megan, she actually did a response to that. And there was an award given, you know, for different stupid things in the ecosystem. But it's interesting. You know, it's interesting how that is. You're not supposed to respond when these people, they do something awful, because or they want to fight. They want to play until they don't want to play. You know, they want to put out things. They want a victim narrative is what they want. And you can see that. You can absolutely see it. And it's amazing. I mean, again, I went through looking at the transcript of what he had to say. And it was just, it was so bizarre. It was so bizarre because of the way that not only that he tries to go at J-Hips was odd. And I think the other extreme to that was the one that he put out with George. Apparently, it's okay for him to go after a person under a protective order. It's okay for him to target them. And it's also okay for him to target anybody else he wants. But when they laugh at him, they make a joke about who he is and what he represents. Apparently, that's harassment of the elderly. Now, this is coming from people that, again, they are still in denial of ripping off the elderly. That's part of the services rendered, they say, should be an issue. Yeah, maybe you should look into that a little more. They are also right now being accused by another elderly person of ripping them off potentially for up to and beyond 6 figures. That would be the same person they said we should trust wholeheartedly. We should never question elemental P. So these people are like, oh, Ray, it's amazing. You know, when they talk about the elderly, remember that buzzword there, that only matters when they want to utilize it. Because if you talk about, again, when they wanted to weaponize Element OP, she was indigent, she was elderly, it's so terrible. But when you knock out 100K potentially or more out of their bank accounts, well, that's not abuse. I also love it too. Let me say this. I forgot to bring this up. I love how they talk about, you know, they always loop things back to caring about things like the child. You know, they brought up like Ray did, you know, and they do this too. Now, I noticed they didn't give any concern to that child when they were without a home and they were living in a shed. They talk about the lawyer was important, so people needed to raise money for that. But the actual living standard of a child, the things that are going on in the immediate, that did not need to be addressed, according to them. That wasn't part of the money that when they were giving the money, that was important. Again, I very much think the way that they handled themselves, they gave that money and they finished off that. I mean, if I were to bet money, I would bet money on them doing it. I would bet on it. That's how far I am. I'm betting it by saying straight up, I believe you did that. And they're gonna be like, no, it was donors. Yeah, well, you know, the game in that is, wouldn't they technically be donors? But I digress. Yeah, they didn't care about that kid at all before. They care when it's potentially beneficial for them. They think it might get them out of problems because Lynette Preston, like I said, she wants her money back. And I don't think that's going to buy her off either. In fact, if you give money, again, it opened up the connection between, there's a great post. I forgot this. Shoot. Give me 1 second. I've got to show you something. This is amazing. Just give me one thing, and then we'll go back to that. But I've got to show you something. There's a wonderful post, and I really want to show you this. I forgot all about it. It talks about the connection. You know, they're saying there's no way that you could look at our records about it. That would be protected. Actually, it's not actually protected. Like I said, somebody put together a very wonderful posting about how that works. And I saw it. Let me pull this up. I liked it. You know, I like many of you out there put up wonderful posts, and I saw this one. I do want to read this to you real quick because some of you may have not. Some of you may notice these, but some of you may not. And Susan Davis, I actually want to give you props. I enjoy many of your posts out there. This one I thought it was very interesting. These are Friday's fun facts. talks about fundraising attorney fees. Just talking about that. This is, of course, Susan Davis. You should give her a follow. And also, you can see the group there. This was in Otter Creek Tube Town. Props to the group. There are several good groups out there. Several good people. You know, there are many of you out there. And I wish I could give props to every one of you. But I definitely want to bring this up because it goes to exactly what I was talking about. Did you know that the fact that a third party, someone other than the client, paid Ohio lawyer's fees and is not protected by attorney-client privilege and is almost never confidential? Did you know that if a third party pays for someone else's legal representation, an Ohio lawyer is required to obtain informed written consent from the client? Did you also know that this written consent is discoverable by opposing parties in litigation? Did you know that the failure to obtain written consent before accepting payment from a third party is an ethical violation that subjects the lawyer to discipline and can and likely will cause the lawyer to be disqualified and removed from a case? And did you know that a subsequent writing does not retroactively cure the violation when substantial fees have already been paid? Now, you have to think about this. Now, why would that matter? Well, you think about it. You know, there are laws against, say, a lawyer soliciting other lawyers, for example. We have discussed that, and I'm not saying that they did. I actually, I think that one of the donors in this, just my gut says that we have, a lawyer. I think they were one of the donors. I really think that. And again, they can deny it if they wish, but I think they were a donor. But I don't think they were the big donor. But still, I think they were a donor for sure, which does bring up some interesting questions. Although I'm sure they would say right now, technically, they aren't Lynette's lawyers. So, but anyway, I digress. And did you? Let's see. Where were we? Oh, and did you know that if a client or anyone acting for the client publicly solicits money to pay legal fees, the source of the funds and identity of donors becomes public information, the client waived confidentiality the moment the fundraiser went live? And did you know that the opposing parties can, 1, subpoena crowdfunding platform to get a full donor list, 2, subpoena the client's bank records and see the deposits from the platform or from individual donors, and 3, subpoena the lawyer's trust account or operating account, matching funds, exact amounts and dates, because discovery of those items cannot be blocked by a claim of privilege or confidentiality. Did you know that all of the above facts are true and applicable whether the client received the money from a third party and pays the lawyer or whether the lawyer is paid directly by the third party? Did you know that the fact that the funds were transferred outside a fundraising platform after the public fundraising was announced does not change any of the above facts? And did you know that all communications between a lawyer and third parties, such as, say, Elisa, for example, are non-privileged and discoverable too? Did you know that if the lawyer or third party attempts to hide or destroy communications exchanged between them, courts can and do impose monetary sanctions or other case-related sanctions, including disqualifications, and can and do make criminal referrals? And did you know that opposing parties can subpoena the lawyer and do not need to rely upon the honesty of third parties? And it is extremely unlikely a lawyer will put themselves at risk of civil, disciplinary, and criminal penalties by lying to protect the third party. Did you know that when a third party is involved in alleged third-party violations of an existing protective order and commits spoliation of evidence, the likelihood of criminal referral significantly increases? That's interesting, isn't it? So when we're talking about money and them saying the whole point in going over that, when they talk about that and they're like, there's no way anybody can ever find out where that money came from. Yeah, they actually can. Fun times, right? Fun times indeed. So again, we're talking about people that are denying right now. Again, they may have well laid the groundwork for an amazing claim that, again, Lisa, if money leads back to you, lady, woo, baby, you're going to have some issues. You're gonna have a couple potentially. You're gonna have, well, the bankruptcy issue, but also Fed 2. Fed 2 is predicated on the notion that multiple fundraisers went on. That you kept a lot of money, which there, but you always said that the only money that they were entitled to was in the form of projects. Everything else, they weren't allowed that. So my God, you talking about some interesting stuff. But anyway, I had to show you that. Okay. So they continue after saying that. And she, just for some stupid effing reason, tried to harass him like that. Megan, you're a piece of it. Oh, yeah, that's harassment, clear as day. Harassment. And then the little brown dog made a video making it look like Ray was doing a little brown. I'm going to check the words. Did you say that? Because that looks weird. I've got to check and make sure that translated right. Because that sounds weird. We'll see. We'll see. But typically, if I'm calling someone a brown dog, that does not sound good. That sounds like some very non-appropriate language. So we'll go back to the record and see. Again, could be a translation error, but that's weird. What? Made a video making it look like Ray was doing something inappropriate. She played the video. You talking about where he made the crazy calls? Are you calling oh my God, are you calling the phone calls? Are you saying that those are fake? That the video he still has up right now? Are you saying the video on his channel right now is fake? I mean, I'm confused by this right here. Because again, how did he get a dummy award? He got it because of actions that he took that included talking some smack about Megan Fox. And they're like, oh my God, they totally created a fake video. It's on his channel, morons. It's still up there. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. That's amazing. It's fake. It's totally fake. How in the world? Man, that's trashy. Trash is trash. I don't want your shit. I don't even know. Yeah, are you kidding me right now? What did Jeremy do? Oh, what's Jeremy? Oh, he's talking the trash. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. And then, of course, hey, you're thankful. He's blaming everyone for paying for it. John got a lawyer. Yeah, awesome. Must have been Deuce. Must have been Lisa. Must have been this one. Must have been that one. Well, don't worry. We're 100% going to find the fuck you are, dude. Go ahead and try. You ain't going to find out shit. It was anonymous donors on a PayPal pool. Uh-huh. Yeah, again. Well, that's why I wanted to read you that wonderful little thing about anonymous donors. You see the game, though. You see the game. They're like, you get find out. You can also see some of the panic, worry. Again, you should just go back. You see the timestamps. You should go check that out yourself and listen to the mannerism stuff. You've seen enough clips and stupid. When they do something totally wrong, you see them and see how they comport themselves. How's that work out? That's all you're going to know, dude. However, the two a-holes sent 2 cents into the pool the other day. They exposed themselves by putting their names. So this piece of garbage doxes people. Ends up with the names from somebody that's on that, puts their names out into the public. Because not everybody, here's the wonderful thing, not everybody that gave pennies names were on something. But 2L seemed to know who they were, all of them. That was a weird thing, right? Almost like somebody had given them that information. Strange, huh? Strange. So those people reported it. They reported that as going not only for fraud, but also for a privacy violation. Because again, those people, whether you liked them or not, they gave money in this thing and they were rewarded by somebody trying to dox them. Again, that's what happens to donors. Remember, Miyagi was doxxed, by the way. I very well remember them talking about Miyagi and talking about where Miyagi works. In fact, Miyagi actually put together videos on that too. Miyagi's videos, I do want to give a shout out for this because Miyagi's videos are some of the most compelling reference points to showing the lies and how they also go after donors. This is why I would never give anything to, like I said, I've done multiple campaigns out there with different things, you know, over time. And through that, of course, you end up with shipping information and stuff. And over time, there will be people that don't like you anymore. It happens, you know, you'll disagree. It's life, but it's also internet. Unfortunately, I hate this about the internet, but the internet ages friendships in dog years. You know how people talk about dog years, 7 years, every 1 year. I feel like if you maintain a relationship for a few years online, you've done an amazing thing because it's range. The reason for that, by the way, is because on the internet, you think about it. Like anytime I go on a channel with somebody, we sit down, we talk about some of the most, I would say, most private things in life sometimes. But we also sit down and we do things that it would take months or even years sometimes to get to in regular life. So you create friendships and they sometimes they fall apart. They fall apart quickly. But in that, I have never once felt the need to go and to threaten somebody with their information. Ever, because that's not how you run a business. If you do that, people will stop giving things and they will stop buying. So for me, I don't care personally. That's not the way you handle it, But they've done that. Again, Miyagi is the greatest testament to that. 1 second. I got to clear my throat. Miyagi is not the only one, though. You also had, again, people like the lady with the quilt. I think the lady with the quilt, again, she was treated like absolute garbage. But there are so many others. So when they're out here talking about, oh, well, they got exposed, they put their names on it. When they say by putting their names on it, they got pissed, they were called out. That's them saying they're docs. They put their names. No, what happens is, again, they didn't publicly put all their names on it. Some did, but some didn't. But see, the host, they end up with the names no matter what. It said that when I clicked, I wanted to see how that works because of the anonymity factor in it. And I clicked on the donation link because, like I said, I wanted to see how that would work. Now, I don't know if it just gives names or if it gives other information too, because when I clicked on that, it asked for me to verify all of my information again. It asked me for my home address and all of that other crap too. So I don't know if they end up with any of that. I'm not sure. I've never ran a PayPal pool ever, but I do know for sure they ended up with names and they threw them out. These people did. So these idiots right here, they threw that information out. So when you get down to it, you think about that. They had to be given it by somebody else. But then they were like, nobody doxed you. We have the screenshots. Anyone who went to the link, they saw it. Oh, you trash hags. What pieces of garbage, man. You trash hags. You people who give them money. How dare you give any of them money? How dare you complain when we dox you? What's up with that, man? What awful people. Awful, awful people. Oh, such idiots, man. So you know what the trash hag did? Once John pulled the money out because he had to pay the lawyer, right? Now he could have kept the thing going, but no, he got what he needed for the lawyer, and he ended the pool. Yeah. Did that hurt your feels, by the way? I bet they were like, oh my God, why did he end it? I bet you behind there. I bet you, I can imagine them in several reasons why they would wanted to keep it going. But I imagine like 2L was like, why end it? Get some more money. So the pool's ended. This person went back. They called PayPal and made a whatchamacallit. Whatchamacallit. I don't think they built a whatchamacallit, but a complaint got 2 cents back. Oh my God. And called it fraudulent. Oh my God, I got the picture. People gave it again. Like I said, they will forever want to dox people. And it's amazing that they said it. Now, on that specific live stream, they brought up Megan. God, a lot. Look at this. You want to see like the crazy, you want to see the crazy here. I mean, it's funny though. I'm going to read you a few things with Ray. Like I said, Ray, oh my God, how dare you talk about Ray? How dare you? They're so proud of them saying trash hags. They think they've caught something. It's so funny. They're so miserable as people. But look at this. Look at all the Megan talk. Look at this. Look. Look down the side here. This is all the times. This is by name. This is by name. Holy God, man. But it's like, I'm talking about people like Megan and Tug. Megan literally emailed Ray Brokerage. I told you, I just read the email the night before Thanksgiving. We know he's probably dreading the next day, okay? So it's not why he's not going to be there, okay? They're going to try to hurt him, and look, he was having fun with it. People enjoy what he does. You don't? What are you watching for? So, look, they're admitting, so he can go after her. He can write emails to her. He can do whatever. It's okay. But if you write him, he's a victim of harassment. It's elder abuse. He's 81. Oh my God. Oh, it's so beautiful. You claim you don't watch, but you do. And you go and you send that out. That was harassment. Oh, she's doing Germ's dirty work. He's 81. 81. And I mean, they could not stop. Oh, Megan. Oh, no. Oh, no, Megan. We're not emailing. Look, we're not emailing. Nobody over there's emailing. We're not picking up and calling. I know some people maybe have, Bruce. Oh well. Bruce, you dumb bee, So if Bruce mails and threatens and stuff, you're a dumb bee. But you mail Ray and it's harassment. Okay, so I'm curious about this. Again, I'm very curious about him emailing her. So it's not okay to mail him, but look how salty they are about money too. They're like, I'll tell you something else too, Tug. Oh, they make enough money monthly on YouTube. Oh my God, they shouldn't be begging for anything. By the way, if you would like to, if you'd like to support the channel, think about hitting that like button. Think about telling people we're live still. We've been on live. I did not chill. I forgot all about it. But if you'd like to go further, if you'd like to say, buy a textbook, I don't really need textbook, but if you like to buy a textbook anyway, or you'd like to buy that new Audible book when it comes out, or you'd like to just whatever. Apparently, these people they are counting our coinage. So if you think that's funny and you'd like to support, because they apparently hate us all. Hey, look at them whining. God, money. I wonder how many times is money up in here? Money. Holy crap, man. Let's see. How many of those are complaining about other people's money? She makes money. Oh, they're attacking my money. My money. My money. Oh, look. Oh man, I didn't even go into money yet. Look at this. They're telling you all money is gone, again, except for the barn. They just said that again. The only money left is for the barn. So again, all the other projects, all that money, anything that was left over is Lisa's money. She's made that clear. Again, yet again, Lynette, she's making it clear. Now, that maybe to say things like that, it's like I said, it's crazy. You can't collect all of that money and then say, well, we did a project's done, so this is my profit. That's not how it works. Holy crap, that's not how this works. I mean, you had people, again, like Only Me said, for other things. He didn't actually say in certain items. She put up his statements, and it didn't say it was only for this item. Again, we've seen that, but the amount of money she claimed for a fence is wild. It just arbitrarily decides what it's for. And some of it, again, wasn't spent on the fence. Like the stain. Like I said, there was $1,000 that was given to stain the fence. The fence was not stained. She said the stain fell off the truck. So they didn't replace that or anything. They just were like, it fell off the truck, $1,000 a month. Holy crap, man. I mean, again, they are just flagrantly taking. They are flagrantly cashing in. But at the same time, while they're saying this, like I said, they're telling you if they paid money for that to Lynette Preston, this is going to be the problem they're going to have too. Lynette has plenty of grounds to turn around and to sink her teeth into you now, because you have gone outside of what you claimed that was for, because you said, oh, it's only for projects. Well, if you put money for anything else outside of that, if you've paid money for anything else, by the way, you've put money in, and holy shit, I forgot. They said, I forgot about this. So they said that the expert witness, that Bruce paid for it, and then he was given money from the fundraiser, which they never did any other fundraiser. So it would have had to come out of main money, right? That would be them taking money from the quote unquote projects and putting it into something that isn't allowed. That would be them going against their own statements. Again, looking at the amount of money too, just to again, hit this point, because I love this point. I love the money point. Give me a minute. Let me see if this will pop up. It takes a minute. Man, I tell you, StreamYards is so stupid. I need to buy it. The reason that I use StreamYards, by the way, I adopted StreamYards early on. And as an early adopter of StreamYards, it locked you in at $25. So nowadays, streaming costs $40+. So it's an expense. So for me, I am not giving up my freaking StreamYards unless I have to, because it costs a lot. I already spend just to run the channel. I spend hundreds of dollars on everything. So uneven. Give me a minute here. It does not want to come up. I may bring up the thing, and then we'll bring up the money thing again. It hasn't wanted to lock in on it yet. God, I hate this thing sometimes, though. You have to, I'm not saying it would be, there it goes, finally. It takes it a minute to it's like after 4 or 5 screenshots of something, after so much time, it doesn't want to bring up the stuff. So here again, you've seen this many times, but let's just talk about just certain items because we have. So September 27th. All right. So September 27th, there's $629 for the fence there. November the 13th, they say there's another $1,000. There's $1,600 they're claiming just from one person again. And they said that the fence was paid for with gift cards. They said that the other day, which was amazing because they got upset, screwed up, and they admitted that, which I'm sure LMNOP knows how much stuff was. And when you start getting into the fence, there's crazy amounts. And remember, they're the ones that are deciding where the money falls. Again, fence, oh, well, that's toward the fence. But again, something that says Harley, like that $600, well, that was Christmas, Oh, okay. So $5,000 here, right? Let's do more on November 17th. That apparently let's do more means Christmas. So they got to keep $5,000 for Christmas. Out of all the shit that was sent, out of all that stuff, they got to pocket $5,000 there. Here, Xmas, they say, please use this to buy gifts. Okay, Christmas, $7,500 for Christmas right here. And again, we keep getting into, so here is, they say the 18th. I'm going to say, let's just call this the 19th, right? Okay. There's another 1,000. So there's $8,500. And then more. Again, you get the point here. I mean, you're talking about $10,000 from one donor on Christmas, and they're like, project completed. Money's mine. That is a fucker of a scam, man. That is a scam. So again, I hope Lynette, when she looks at those numbers that they've admitted to, I hope she realizes when she sees it that they lied. And if they came off again, they've opened the door for her. Oh, and it's going to be beautiful. This stuff is going to be amazing. It is. It's going to be amazing. But look at all the times they bring up money. Look at it. Look at it. Look, oh, here, there's here's Gabe. Oh no, look, they're talking about Gabe and his deal. Oh man, look, he's not a criminal. Nope. Gabe took a plea deal to stop it because he didn't want to travel back and forth. First, he was like, I'll work for free. Oh, it's just a civil matter. But he's done 5 or 6. Again, they're throwing the victim under the bus. This is fucked up stuff right here. They are attacking the victim. I'm sure that's probably not part of your plea deal. Going out and telling thousands of people that the victim, who is easily identified because of information out there, I wonder how many times that person's been harassed, by the way. How many times the ecosystem has gone in and bothered that person? I mean, they go in again. It's wild. It's freaking wild. This is actually talking about that. Like I said, I didn't get through all of that. I didn't look up money, but this is, oh man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, people don't vet their shit. Look, we don't vet our shit. When you go and you look up these people's actual records and you talk about that, okay, you're not vetting your shit, right? God, I'm gonna have to read more of this. I think I'm far enough in. Like I said, last night they absolutely owned themselves. So they started talking about again, quote unquote, harassment. So mailing Megan Fox and talking about revenge porn, sending the video and someone saying they're going to check it out and more straight to her. That's not harassment. Them mailing her over and over again, threats and all kinds of shit. That's not harassment. But her mailing him a stupid award after she's brought up specifically in a live stream and brought up with some crazy fake weirdness, and she's laughing about how dumb it is. That's apparently harassment. Okay. Now, you know, what was happening, by the way, here's a question too. What was happening in Megan's life while these people are mailing? You know that there have been all kinds of things that have happened with emergencies and more in her life. You don't think these people have been writing her while all of this stuff goes on? Do you think they ever give a shit what happens in your life? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But someone else, man, they are the victims. I love their victim narratives. Let's go over some super chats. I love this right off the top, you know. Shane Cook, that Welsh guy. Let's see. Let's get your party started here. So apparently, maybe very early in Wales. That's awesome, man. You get it started out very early. Let's kick off that birthday song. It's never too early. You know, actually, my oldest daughter, her last birthday, she set an alarm and woke me up at 12:01 to tell me it was her birthday. It's never too early. You know, that's actually great. The day is yours. And as we said,
Happy birthday!
From both of us to you.
Happy birthday!
May all your dreams come true.
Happy birthday!
We love to have you here.
Happy birthday!
Here's to another year.
I love you too, man. Happy birthday, my friend. You know, it is great. It falls right in here. Holidays, you know, I love it. I love holiday birthdays. That's why I was telling my mom her birthday's right before Thanksgiving. And I'm like, you know, it's not that it's right before a holiday. It is a holiday, you know, so we just stack up the holidays. So it's amazing. Party. That's right. I love it. Right after Thanksgiving, though, we need something besides, again, since they ruined Black Friday, I need something else to celebrate. And I'm glad your birthday's there. Pickle Tank, thanks for the vibe there. A hockey game in Orlando. Thank goodness for earbuds. Hey, well, that's awesome. I appreciate you there. You know, I used to go in Nashville. You know, we actually have a hockey team. And back in the day, I haven't been to anything here. I don't even know about hockey in Nashville anymore. But back in the day, we used to go to the Predators, and those were always fun to go to. I always liked that name, you know. They got that saber-tooth tiger head. But I'd go down there with my my now deceased stepfather, and he was funny. He was really funny, my Lord. Like he was a terrible driver. One day we were going through, and you know, they put out the cones. He was driving, and you hear him like tap a cone. And I was like, I think you tapped a cone. He's like, no, I didn't know. And I kept hearing this sound. I was like, I think you hit a cone. So he pulls over, and sure enough, when he was clearing the edge of a cone, he had gotten it caught under the car. Had to wedge it out and take it back. Like, oh no. He was like, he's like, at least it wasn't like a really short person. Oh my God. He was really funny. I loved him. He was a great guy. But oh man, we used to go to those. Had a great time. Da Floofy. What's up, Da Floofy? Thanks for the vibe. The overlords hope that everyone had a good day, but their servant is struggling with sciatica. Hey, it's loose, providing Floofy heat and purse to assist. Well, you know what? That's the best thing. Get that heat on, the comfort on, and you know, prayers to you as well, for real. And love to you. Man, like I said, out of it, I appreciate you. You were also out of the little ones. Again, the little one, out of anybody, she's like, that's the Floofy. So, her favorite person out there, or at least one, I won't say the favorite, but very much one of the favorites. Many of you are, it's just funny. She's like, the Floofy, because of the cat and everything. You know, if you're a little like cute animal, that's it. So love there. And prayers, like I said too. Fallen hero, man. Thank you yet again. Appreciate you every day. Like I said, appreciate you. Thank you for the gifto there. Thank you also. Again, giftos are awesome because they give to other people. Love it. And thank you for the month there. Been watching way longer, but just became, hey, Tugs. Well, hey, thank you there. And yeah, I've always said, I wish the button, if they wanted to make something that really it encourages people to stay around, they should put how long. It should be voluntary, right? But you should be able to turn on a little thing that says how long you've been subscribed. I think that would be amazing. I think it'd be cool to look and see how many people have been around, how great it is. What's up, Rats? How you doing, Rats? Thanks for 10. Yo, Tug. Sold my house, forced retirement, injury currently. It was a wild ride. Stopping in New Mexico tonight, Texas tomorrow. Several points forward to the southern states to find a new home. Wish you luck. Hey, indeed. You know what? You can find some great places, by the way. From that point forward, like I said, I wish you luck. Again, prayers with you on as you look forward. But while you're looking out there with all the southern states, there are places, like I said, you can find still some nice places to settle and really still enjoy yourself. So, again, prayers with you and good luck, man. Good luck finding you a place. That sucks. But going forward again, I hope you find what you're looking for there. What's up? I don't know what to call it. Wait, is that oh God, I can't think of your freaking name. I know your name. It's the sheep. I can't think of your it's throwing me. I'll remember it in a few minutes. I know your avatar. It's driving me nuts because I know who you are. It's like Sneaky Sheep, or I can't remember. It won't come to me. It won't come to me. But I reckon I hate it where they change names up, like I said. So I can't remember people's names. It drives me nuts when I see an avatar. I know. And I'm like, I know you. I tell my brother, who talks to himself a lot, I'd have to charge him double the rent if he keeps bringing his friends home. Right. That's hilarious, by the way. I love it. I absolutely love that. That's funny. I'm terrible about it. I talk to myself. I don't know how many of you do it, but I talk to myself too. So I get it. But that is funny. It says it all. Thanks for the 2 months there. What does one header read? Pastor Michelle. What does one header read? Which header is that, by the way? They says it all. I'm curious which header that is. I don't know which one you're talking about. If it's something created by like AI or something, I can see that. I'd have to look at it though and to see exactly what it's for. But mail me and note it. I'll be able to tell you what it's from. I'm just not sure. Tracy, thanks for the 5 months. 5 gifted membership. I don't know why I said 5 months. Tracy, thank you very much, by the way. Not 5 months, but you have gifted 5 people months. So you've helped out the channel. You've hooked them up right here in the holiday season. Love to you and thank you. Much appreciated. As if, thanks for the 10 there. Appreciate that. I was really trying to wrap my head around her saying Gabe's arraignment was proof he doesn't have a felony. Can't disprove last step of being labeled a felon at the first step one's arraignment. Yeah, I don't understand that either. I mean, the whole argument is here's proof. Not, again, he admitted. So there is a document where he actually admits to everything. It's rolling around. It is the document for the state of Florida versus, with him, his name, and it reads in there. It's like his name, do hereby knowingly and voluntarily admit and acknowledge that on or about 7/31/2019 in the county that he's at, I did commit grand theft, false representation as a licensed certified holder, direct performing work without building permit, to wit, grand theft, false representation as a licensed certified holder, 3, performing work without building permit. Now the state, now again, they convict him on that. They note that too. They talk about it. But again, he admits it. He absolutely admits it. It's documented. So when he's saying And when they're saying that that's not real, it's absolutely real. It blows my mind because they've sold people. And again, they keep saying, well, this is nobody's business. Fuckers, you took tens of thousands of dollars for people and you are accused of stealing it. Yet again, it is absolutely people's business. You keep saying that it only involves the people that gave money. No, it also involves the people you're supposed to give the money to. You seem to forget that part. You know, maybe you placated them for a hot minute, but I'll damn well tell you that that's not going to work. They will want more. And your idea of, again, limiting the amount of money after you bragged, by the way, you bragged that only me, there were people gave more. So we know there's at least double that 56K. There's at least another 56K that was given. You had the audacity to brag about over $100,000 in donation just to stick it to everybody. And you say it's nobody's business about that stuff. Again, that came up because people like only me wanted to know. And you still tell them to F themselves. It's nobody's business. Oh, okay. That's crazy. And it's all conspiracy. Didn't you check out the arraignment? Well, he signed the papers saying that he did it. And then you're like, no. Actually, my ass. My God, dude. Dawn, thanks for the 5 months. Gonna be the one to express this stuff, not her. Yes, actually, she wrote in. I don't believe the letter was actually allowed either. That's the wonderful thing in there. I don't think that the letter itself, when it came down to it, I don't think that it was allowed. So well, but yeah, that's the DA. Yeah, let's tick them off, right? You allegedly got that booger sugar charges from October 2025 now. Yeah, smart. Yeah, smart indeed, right? These people, again, I wouldn't call them the brightest lights in the shed, though. You know what I mean? So, Travis, what's up, Travis? Thanks for the 5. Well, God's a way to get out of trouble. God's been on my side for a long time. Good evening to everyone. Hope y'all doing great. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Yeah. You know, and here's the thing. I realize that everyone has made mistakes in life. Some people have made terrible mistakes. The problem is, again, I am not trying to judge a person for utilizing substances. I am not trying to judge a person. But maybe I do judge their stuff because they're not accountable. You know, there's an accountability portion. If they did something terrible and they were like, yo, you know, I did this terrible. That's the thing in the ecosystem. There's the accountability. Remember, all of them, all these felonious assholes, all of them, they were actually the victims somehow. Or it didn't matter because the victim, it was only this country out there or whatever. You know, again, they play this game. But it's just like when we talked about how guardianship is a problem. When you, you know, when the face of one of your scams, your biggest scam out there was a blind man who was trying to get out of his own issue. This taking money while you have it, that is an issue that people, they should be able to ask questions about. They absolutely should. And there have been a lot of people I've seen growing annoyance, growing concern. There's a channel out there where a bunch of people had gotten together and they were talking about this. And again, I don't reach out myself to these folks, and you know, some people will, and that's fine, you know, but for myself, my door or my email is always open that you can hit me up there. I don't myself reach out. This is why I never, so the Lynette thing, when Lynette claimed that we wouldn't have her on our show, the reason I wouldn't have her on my show before at the very beginning is because she would have pulled the same thing Ray is doing, in my opinion, screaming that they're being victimized. And instead, then since you were like, well, I didn't have you on there. Again, I said that she could contact on the show. She's always welcome, but that's the reason I didn't write her. I don't make contact. I will engage in contact if someone contacts me. That is the difference, by the way. But with Megan, she was contacted first. That's the kicker there. In fact, we all have been contacted by the ecosystem. They all have thrown us into messages and more. They absolutely have. And my inbox has been filled with some absolute lunacy. So for them to claim that they don't contact anybody is absolute garbage, man. Absolute. Thank you, Travis, brother. I appreciate you. Melissa, thanks for the tune. Just a lurker here lurking. Lurk away, and appreciate you as well. It's amazing the stuff that has come up. Again, tomorrow, this weekend for sure. One day, it'll either be tomorrow or the next day. We are going through all of those fake calls because they are funny. The Ray thing brings them up. We still have that Dave filing too. Those two things, those are my objectives. Unless something, I say this stuff, but then more stupid comes up. I'm telling you though. They're gonna try to be obstinate and deny that they are the major donors for this stuff because they know that they have walked into a dumpster fire. But I'm telling you, all signs point to, and I am guessing again that out of the main donors, I don't know. I don't know who on there, but I'm going to guess that the big donors, when they came in, 250 and the other one, yeah, I'm imagining that those are also people that you know by name, and I'm not saying just big people, like big contributors. I think they're, the bigger, I think they're contributors. A lot of that is dried up for them. What's up, Wanda? Thanks for the 20 there. Hello, Tug. I hope it's been a good day. It has been a pretty good day. It has. I got up, like I said, really early. I took my oldest daughter over. She wanted to go, and she's heard the stories about Black Friday. And I tell her, Black Friday is not like it used to be ever. There's a little bit of hurry, but it was funny because she's like, oh, I want to see it like it used to be. So we got out, and at Walmart, there was a line, when we got up there. So I got in. I thought about filming, but it wasn't even worth filming, I considered it at first, but it just wasn't worth it. I mean, it was just disappointing. But when I got in line, I thought it was funny because my daughter was like, oh, it's freezing out here, and we were there for like 3 minutes before it opened. And I told her, back in the day, if you wanted to get in, you'd stand in line for, an hour or so. I always landed. I didn't care about, every now and then my mom might ask me like, hey, can you help me get something? And that was, I don't know, it would be fun. It'd be fun just to see the insanity to try to do it, but back when they also, I noticed they used to have items for, there would be a few of them that would be extremely discounted, and those don't exist. Like in the store, they don't exist anymore. It's just like there are a few electronic items that, like I said, I was looking at the couple of note taking devices, I'll say, and those were discounted decently. Decently enough for me to consider them. But she also was funny. I was like, what do you want for Christmas? She'd been mentioning some stuff. When we got over to a certain part of Walmart, she was like, I need a laptop. Her old laptop gave out finally. She was like, I need a laptop. And I was like, well, why do you want a laptop? And she named up a couple of things. I was like, like school and doing this. I was like, Why do you really want a laptop? Video games. I was like, okay. So I was like, what video games? So she named a couple of them. I was like, you have a PlayStation, you access, you can buy the video games you mentioned for like $5 or $6. What are you talking about? It was pretty funny because she was like, hey, there's laptops over here. There's a laptop for like $200. I was like, yeah, that thing ain't gonna run anything. I'm sorry, but if you want to do like write something, that'll work, but run a video game, no, that ain't gonna work for you. She was so funny though. But it was a good day. I got to spend time hanging out with her, and we got to goof off and do stuff. I mean, that's always fun. You know, I took her over. She got some Legos. She loves bugs, as she'll tell you. So she got a Lego set with a giant praying mantis, and I can't remember. She got another bead kit, you know, because she needed some specialized ones. All you folks that have sent things like beads and stuff too, I can't thank you enough, because that has given her like the want to continue to make things, and she's exploring it. It's amazing to watch. So I appreciate all of that too. It's steered her toward doing certain things in her life, and she enjoys the heck out of it. But I was laughing at her because she was buying stuff like that, and she's like, "Dad, why don't you buy stuff?" I bought some pillows, you know, again, stuff you need in the house. I bought a couple of bath mats because I needed them, you know. I needed a couple of bath mats to replace. She's like, "That's not good. Don't buy crap like that. Buy something fun." I was like, "I haven't found anything fun yet," but I thought that was funny. Hey, what you up? Thanks for the ride there. I've got to jump off to see James McAvoy tomorrow. James McAvoy. What's James McAvoy doing? You know? I wonder what you're seeing him with. James McAvoy. What are you watching, a movie? Is there a new movie out? Or? I'm curious, like what's going on with that. Is he at a place? I got to go to you know, a couple of conventions. At the conventions, I had fun because I get signatures, you know, on that mask that I'm sure some of you have seen, the one that looks like a Jason Voorhees mask. It's got a bunch of them on there. But one of the more interesting people, it was when Game of Thrones was big, and Jaime Lannister was at Bubba Fest, the actor that played. I can't remember his name, but he was the nicest guy. You know, some of the actors are crazy and mean, but he was the nicest dude. But I'm curious, James McAvoy seems like he'd be a nice guy. William, thanks for the 5. Paint Chips was saying that Discovery with Foreman would prove conspiracy with Jeremy Hale. So that is where Ray gets it. He just blindly believes and repeats. What kind of conspiracy do they think is going? Like it's insane. They think. What business? This is the question there too. What business of theirs has been targeted? What damages have they suffered? What has been inflicted on them? They have profited. They have profited immensely. In fact, many of them, like BBB, kept talking about how he wanted his name out there everywhere. Well, he got that. He even talked about how he was famous now. He wrote Larry a letter about it there. You know. What is Felon and Partner? What do they what do they claim out of that? Again, they've got more attention from this kind of stuff. They love their attention. I'll tell you. You know, they absolutely. I think it's funny. They mail people like Megan all the time, and they mail myself when certain things come up. And Megan's like, I don't even click on it. You know, like their articles. Now I look at them. Some of their stuff is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. You know, that's how I find out about interviews and stuff. But comparatively, they've gotten more attention now than ever. So I'm curious where the so-called conspiracy comes in, and what is the conspiracy to do? What exactly? I know that he talks about other people in conspiracy. I think that's funny, considering BBB, again, they actively fundraise for these people. They wanted money to be part of it. Give us money or else we won't be part of it. And they collected behind the scenes. They admit over $1,000 that they collected other ways. They don't say who or where that money came from, but hey, other people conspiracies, right? You know, it's so funny. Honestly, Debbie, thanks for that. I don't even know. Like, is there a accusation of conspiracy with Jeremy Hales in the Larry Foreman stuff? I'll have to go back and look because I don't even remember anything about a conspiracy. Like, what are they talking about? Like, what makes them think that there's going to be some way that they're going to be able to open the files on that? Where's their claim of conspiracy? I don't even remember the claim of it's so bizarre. He was like, he hurt my reputation, you know, made me look like a fool. He claimed this and that about me. I gotta go back and read the freaking stuff because I don't even remember where they're supposedly pulling that from. That's a good question. That's actually a good one to know. That William, I'm gonna have to look it up. Debbie, thank you. Drop 5 giftos again. Much love for that. Like I said, that not only helps the channel out, but it hooks other people up too, and it tells them, "Hey, welcome." And I love that. El Flockin' Lou. Love the name, by the way. Thanks for the 19 much. Much love to you and Chad. Haven't been able to be around much. Been catching up on replay. Hey, that's fun. You know, I appreciate you. You're around. I love it when you folks are able to come in. I know, like with the holiday times too, I realize time is sometimes it's limited. So you have to pick and choose. Sometimes just one thing I would note with this insanity. If you fall out too much, it's hard to catch up with. And you'll come back and you'll be like, man, I want to know what's going on. And you'll be like, what in the world is happening? Because every week seems like just chart a month of this insanity and see where it goes. You'll be super shocked. You'll be like, oh my God, look at all the things that have gone on in the last month. It just blows my mind. So the one thing I would know, make time for you, your family, and everything else. But keep it up with the high point. This is my entertainment. So in that, just like you said, catching it on replay, that's great. It's hard to catch up on. That's the only thing. So I'm glad you're catching up. Andre, thanks for the 5 there. What's up, Andre? I'm sorry, Maestro. Thanks for the 5. Rosemary and garlic infused deep fried chicken skins, covered breadsticks. I also sent you a pic by email. I think you'll get a laugh out of it. Oh no, it sounds amazing and frightening all at once. Let me look at this. Give me a minute here. Let me check it out. You send all kinds of funny stuff, by the way. I really like a lot of your stuff. 1 minute. The 3 ego amigos. That's really funny. Thank you, man. I appreciate the entertainment, by the way, always. McDub, thanks for the 5 there. Ray, we ordered the dummy trophy from the same company they ordered the memorial from. That's right. It'll be here about the same time as the memorial. That's true. That is true. Yep. We ordered your dummy award right from the same company the memorial is rolling in on. It'll be here any day now. What was the original date on the memorial, by the way? Does anybody know, like right off the top of your head, when was it first talked about? When was money first brought in for that? Because I'm curious how long that's been now. Travis, man, thanks for the 2. Appreciate you again. Ray needs to stop saying he cares about children. Yeah, other people's children for sure. It's really weird. It's really weird. He cares about the little girls. Okay, stop talking about it. It's creepy. It's very creepy. It freaks me out. You're right, man. The Rick Reed, thanks for the 2 there. Breadsticks. Thank you for the breadsticks. Also, that avatar. I'm trying to close it in so I can see it. That's awesome. I like your avatar. That's great. God, I love some of y'all's avatars. They crack me up. They're fun. Like some of them are fun and just happy and go lucky, and some of them are hilarious. I love it. I love that. Thank you for the 20 there. I've learned that sometimes people come into our lives for a season and for reasons. That's true. Being thankful instead of hateful for what they have taught or provided you, survival, and not living in victimhood. Yes, indeed. Here's the thing too. I realize like these people, like with Hales, for example, they've done damage by going after a business, hurting something physical there, and making threats. That like for me, for them, I mean, they can't hurt me. They'll never be able to hurt me. Like for a person like myself, these people can't victimize me, and they can't hurt my business or anything else. So I always remove that. I always look at them, and yeah, the reason they were brought in is for my entertainment. But no, I see what you're saying for real. Like all jokes aside, the it's beautiful sometimes to look around you and to see all the great people you're surrounded by. That's one of the things, again, I love with YouTube. I like to stop sometimes. I know we have thousands of people, even on, like I said, weekends. We have over 2,000 people that take time out of their day to come hang out. These are active, in the moment people that are just coming in, hanging out every freaking day. And it's amazing. And it is well appreciated. Sometimes I look at that and it's amazing. You know, back when I had 30,000 subscribers, I went to my first convention and I saw just a fraction of that in real life. You know, I saw hundreds of people as I walked around, knew me and hung out and goofed off. And it was crazy. You know, just the idea. It's sometimes in this digital realm, you don't really think about how many people you know, how many people you appreciate and appreciate you. You know, and that, I think that's a great lesson, you know, because seeing that physically embodied, it was just amazing to see. And that was a long time ago, you know, and there are a lot more people around and there are a lot more people for others to be around too. So I love that and I appreciate all of you. And it's great. It's great for all of us, I think. Smoking kids. Smoking kid. That's great. I love it. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Doug's. Man, we got the smoking cat. I love it. I don't know. That just hit me right. That was really good. Oh my God. You have got to take that freaking cat over to AI, you know, to like some of the moving stuff. Send me your smoking cat and I'll make it do something. I don't know. Maybe I'll make it knock over a liquor store or something for you. I don't know. But send me it over. I'll do something. If you have a pet, like I said, I'm still messing around. So ChatGPT has made it almost impossible to get some of your people. Like if you have a regular looking like person, it has made it almost impossible. So some of you folks, I told I'm working on stuff, man, it has become ridiculous. And I could get it through Grok, but Grok will make you look like a fool. It's awful. So if you have a pet or something though, like if you like that as your avatar and you want it Muppetized or something, I can do that in a heartbeat. You know, this other stuff though, AI has been ridiculous with. Like Grok doesn't care, but Grok doesn't do good with making Muppets and stuff. It's terrible with it, you know. Andre, thanks for the tip. Thank you. God, I like that smoky cat thing. I could have so much fun with that. Thanks for the tip. Mine going BS. That's right. New car, new computer, snowfall. Yeah, you know, snowfall is a very expensive habit. But the allegations about that are true. Indeed. If people have been let's say, indulging the old snowfall, that isn't a cheap habit at all. You know, I mean, Lord. So, like, where's that come from? That would also, you know, when people give, like when you folks like support the channel and stuff, I can tell you with certainty, like your money is not going for any felonious bullshit like that. You know, I mean, you hear me debate over things to spend money. Like I really think about stuff. Like I think about like a device. Will it help me with what I do here? Will it help me engage for work? Besides that, I read and I like to watch movies if I get a chance or TV shows. You know, so some of that deals with YouTube, especially if I go on other channels. And then everything goes with the kids or home. So that's pretty much there. I don't see how people can take their money and, you know, again, this allegation, you'll see the documents, you decide, right? But I don't see how they get to go on ski trips, let's just say. You know? It's just it just is a weird thing. But then again, I have given for like in COVID, for example, we send people a lot of stuff. Like you know, every now and then, in specific occasion, we might send somebody like a card, like a a gift card, like a monetary card, where they could buy something like baby formula or something. But a lot of times we were sending them out, stuff like that. Those are important. But I've never done a fundraiser, like a direct fundraiser, and had money coming to me for someone else. Like, that's just, I wouldn't want that on me either. The idea of that period is just bizarre. I can't remember. I don't ever remember doing something like that. I don't think I've ever done anything. I've pointed people to something, but it's very weird. Nerd of Hurdles, thank you for the 2 Turd of Felons. LOL. Turd of Felons. Like it. It's fun. I mean, I tell you, they're so proud of themselves for their stupid freaking words that they come up with too. Like, they love to throw around again, like hag, for example. They say they don't make fun of people's looks or anything else, but they're more than happy to call people trash hags and these people too. These people, like it always amazed me when these specific idiots would make comments about people's education. When talking about quote unquote kodunks, the hodunks, they would talk about, again, people that lived in areas like that are represented. You could always tell that they hated Lynette Preston. They hated John Cook. Why? Because you could see how they talk about people from the economic conditions that they're in. They hate them. They look down on them. They always have. And they would make comments about how people like that are dumb. You can see how they think about people that talk with accents like myself, and it's funny because these are the same people that they supposedly are out there wanting to help. It's amazing. It is. Well, just that. I would think that people that sound like this, I would think those people would never talk about how another human being speaks. Bootsy, thanks for the 10 months there. That is its own statement. Thank you, Bootsy. Appreciate that. It's awesome. Thank you for backing the channel. That's amazing. Thank you. SF, thanks for the 2. Did you see Miyagi's short from this morning? I don't know if I did. I'll have to go check it out. I may have. Like, the day has just been so wild. I don't remember. I'll have to check. Bootsy dropped 5 giftos, dude. That's awesome. Thank you for that. That's awesome there. Let me look at that. I cannot see your I can't see your avatar enough. I can't tell. I can't see it there. It looks cool, but it cuts it off a little bit for me. I'm trying to see it there. I want to know about your avatar now. Thank you for that. Like I said, as always, people who back the channel, and on top of backing the channel, when people are giving to others, that's what gifted memberships do. They help the channel, but it gives to other people. And like I said, that's amazing because it tells people, hey, you're part of something. And I love that. So clear as mud. How are you doing? I was wondering about you the other day, and I was thinking about you. I hope you were doing great. 3 freaking years, It's amazing. I hope everything is going well with you. And hey there as well. I hope everybody around this holiday season, I hope you're doing great too. I will be streaming as much as possible during this area. And it has nothing to do with, again, the amount of stuff that's out there or catching up or anything. Like I said, I know these times can be hard on some people. And I want you to know that there are not just people out there that are available for you, but you have friends, man. You have people that care about you. You have people, if you're new to, there are thousands of people you can interact with, enjoy yourself, and come laugh at stupid. No matter what's going on in your life, come laugh at the stupid people. Let's have fun. Let's cover something. It's important, but let's also have fun. And again, I'll try to be around as much, dude. We appreciate y'all. Hey, just Jay, yep, thanks for streaming over me. I see. I have to keep an eye on you as well. That's what I try to do, Jay. I try to stream over you anytime I see you. Jay needs to come back on again for sure. Jay's been pretty funny with. Oh my God, that if you missed out on him talking about Ray And that it's funny. They were like, everybody watches Ray. You know how I found out about the Ray phone call, actually? Just Jay. That's how I found out about it. He was like, did you see this? And I was like, no, what? Oh my God, you've got to see it. Anytime Jay gets excited, this is the funny thing. Anytime Jay gets really excited, I know I'm going to be very amused. You can always tell from the way, if he's speaking, if he's amused by something, cool, it'll be fun. But if he's excited, it's going to be really funny. And he was excited that day. He was like, hey, have you seen this? I went and checked it out there. I was like, oh my God, this is a gift. This is a gift. The only one I thought that was really just gross. Again, the intent behind them was gross, but the gross one was the one directed at George. Again, that thing, it's nasty because, again, if it were one of his loved ones, if they had a protective order against somebody, he'd give a shit about people stalking their lives. But he made excuses for stalking people under a protective order. It was really weird, man. You should check it. I mean, I very much will say, check that video out too. And thanks, Jay. Appreciate you, man, for real. What's up? Weed toast. Weed toast West Coast. I like that. That actually is funny. It just struck me as funny for some reason. Thank you for the gifted membership there too. Thank you, Weed Toast. Appreciate you too. Appreciate the laughs all the time. Just seeing you makes me laugh. It's cool. Oh, Tizzy. Thank you, Tizzy. So the date on the bench was November 26th. I'm going to write that down because you know what? Look at the date. Look where we're at right now. We just had our 1-year memorial for the bench, huh? That's crazy, isn't it? So, I mean, think about that. We are talking about two projects that have done nothing. They have sit for a year. With the, let me write this down real quick. Thank you, Tizzy, though. Tizzy, by the way, Tizzy's just a wealth of information. I love Tizzy's channel. I love the fact that I'm glad that you started making videos because your videos, they become better and better over time. When you find your groove, you notice that as a creator, you'll find your groove and you figure out what you want to do. And as you do that, it gets better and better. And I've seen you find your groove there, and I love it. So November 26th is the binge. And what's crazy is according to them, I'll go with their date. They said, according to them, when the barn first came up, it was because of David the donor. Now, I don't know if it came up before that date, but the date that is acknowledged for David the donor's first big gifto, let's just say, is 10/16. It's again the date that is not on there. It says the barn conversion, keep me secret. So the first barn dome gift is not up there, by the way. It's again, I'm curious how much that was, but 10/16, that was born with David, amount unknown. So that's the one he flips out about every time you ask to, which makes me wonder how much it's for. It makes me even more curious. But we've already passed a year for that project. Now we have another project. That's the word they like, right? Project. So we have another project that's over a year. Isn't that bizarre, huh? When we think about it, like they want you to forget that. Again, they're like, we'll make good. We'll make good on that. Okay, well, how long is something before people should be concerned? Again, they talk about how it's nobody's business about the felonious actions of people within the ecosystem because there's plenty of them out there. Like, how long before something should be questionable? It amazes me too. I even have to go even further in asking this. The The people that were supposed to be the recipients of that, to this day, as far as I'm concerned, they hate Germany. Again, they're anti-Hales enough that they've been pro these people that promised something, and where is it? They would have been bragging about it every chance they got if they would have ever delivered something. So that's crazy. And thank you, Tizzy. Again, appreciate you. Had to write that down there, though. Tinsel, what's up, Tinsel? Thank you for the 20 there. Love your work. Hey, to the kidlets, thank you there. I appreciate you too, Tinsel. For real, I appreciate you. I see you quite often. And you, first of all, you have that channel like that, but also, I mean, I see you around, and I do appreciate you there. You know, I like being able to tell you folks that. You know, it feels good to be able to be like, hey, folks, appreciate you. You know. Let me roll back. Give me 1 second. Check something real quick. There's the live. All right. 1 second here. Give me a second. Oh, there we are. All right. Hey, let me make sure there's not a note on here. What's up? I'll go with first name. Trish, thank you for the 25 there. Thank you. It's got the reason for it's got the little emojis like pizza, coffee, gas, gifts, celebrations. Thank you for that. You know, like I said, I've been saving up for a couple of things. There was I want to shout out somebody because I shouted them out the other day, but I want to give a shout out. Brian, appreciate you, my friend, very much so. That's somebody, again, where I'm thinking about picking up the device I discussed. That's that's what I'm talking about, the main thing for that. So thank you, man. If you're wondering, like, hey, where might that go? That's where. And again, you know, pump it into. I love being able to add new things that help out with this. Again, this is my job, but it's also my entertainment. So it's also appreciate it. I have my favorites things to do. Jay is watching again. Man, you gonna keep that up? I'm gonna have to copyright strike it. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be too funny. Oh no, you may not. No, you know, for real, Jay's live. We are actually to the end, so let's go. Let's give. It's gonna be really weird if Jay's watching right now. I'm gonna talk about redirecting to him, which is some Inception level strange, you know. Let's see. There's just Jay. Yep. I'm going to redirect to Jay. So like I said, that's funny. To his people watch Friday night, get in here gang stream. We got to have some gang, right? Oh, Lord. I think I'm beginning to hate that even more. I kind of hate gang. I'm not sure if the rest of you feel that way, but I kind of hate that gang thing. Does it not kind of just, God, there's certain slang that you're like, oh my God. And I really do hate it. Yep. So of course I'm going to end up with a bunch of it in here. Some just Jacob gang. But anyway, you folks, appreciate you. I'm going to pop you over there to Jay. So you don't get it, dead punk. Yeah. They're talking about things the kids say. And that's one. You know, for Guapo, when he was writing out his stupid stuff, that one guy, he kept calling him like the gang, and you know, he kept talking about getting to the whip and all that stuff. You know, he's trying to sound like down with the kids. It was just kind of funny. So that's where they came up. But yeah, I don't get it sometimes either, man. But anyway, I appreciate you folks. I'm going to redirect you over to somebody that I guess may be watching, and I will see you later.